If you're over 60 and you start your morning with a cup of coffee, and you've also been dealing with that burning, tingling sensation in your feet or hands, then what I'm about to share changes the way you think about both of those things. Because it turns out the morning ritual most of us already have may be one of the best delivery windows your body has for the kind of nerve support that actually works. We're going to talk about what to add, why it works, and just as importantly, why what most people have tried so far hasn't. Before we move forward, I want to hear from you. Type just one word in the comments right now: burning, tingling, or numbness. I want to see which one affects our community most today so I can tailor my future research around what you're actually going through. Because here's what most people in their 60s are experiencing, and very few are talking about clearly. One morning, your feet feel fine. The next, there's that electric buzzing that starts in your toes and travels up your ankle. Some days, it's a dull heaviness. Other days, it feels like something sharp and burning is sitting just beneath the skin. And the strange part is, it doesn't follow a predictable pattern. It changes, it moves. It catches you off guard when you're just sitting quietly, holding your phone, or reading. That unpredictability is one of the most exhausting parts. Not just the sensation itself, but the not knowing. You lie down at night, and instead of rest, you feel that familiar pins and needles pressure starting again. And if it's been going on long enough, maybe you've also started noticing something else. Your grip feels weaker than it used to. Your balance isn't quite what it was. You find yourself holding on to things you never used to reach for. That combination, the burning, the tingling, the numbness, and the subtle loss of coordination. And if no one has explained why, clearly, that's exactly what we're going to do today. So why does nothing seem to work? That's the real question. And if you've tried topical creams, over-the-counter pain relievers, maybe even prescription options, you already know what I mean. They offer temporary relief at best. Things calm down for a few hours, and then the same sensations are back. After a while, a reasonable person starts to think, maybe this is just how things are now. But that conclusion, while completely understandable, skips over something important. It assumes the problem is the sensation. It isn't. The sensation is just the signal. What's actually happening goes deeper than what any cream or fast-acting painkiller touches. We are told to reach for creams, painkillers, and quick solutions, but inside your body, this actually triggers a cycle that leaves the root cause completely untouched. Here's what matters. As we age, the nervous system becomes more vulnerable to a combination of internal pressures. Inflammation starts accumulating around nerve tissue. Certain enzymes that the body naturally produces, useful in small amounts, begin operating in excess and become destructive. At the same time, oxidative stress builds up. Free radicals start outpacing the body's ability to neutralize them. And nerve tissue, which is particularly sensitive to this kind of damage, begins responding the way it would under sustained pressure with erratic, hyperactive signaling. That's why the sensations feel so inconsistent. Your nerves aren't damaged in a simple, static way. They're misfiring because of accumulated biological stress that has built up over time. Topical creams work at the surface. Painkillers interrupt the signal temporarily, but neither one addresses the inflammatory cascade, the enzyme activity, or the oxidative environment that created the problem in the first place. That's the gap most approaches never fill. Now, this is where the coffee connection becomes genuinely interesting, and it's not what most people expect. Coffee itself isn't the problem, and it isn't the solution. But the timing of your morning coffee creates something researchers call a metabolic window. When you drink coffee, circulation increases, your digestive system activates, and your body enters a heightened state of absorption. For many people over 60, this window, those first 30 to 40 minutes after that first cup, is actually one of the most efficient moments of the day for nutrient uptake. The issue is that most people use that window for nothing. They drink their coffee, maybe eat something light, and move on. Meanwhile, the inflammatory and oxidative environment in their nervous system continues unchanged throughout the day. But when you add specific nerve-supportive compounds to that morning ritual, either mixed directly into your coffee or taken alongside it, you're essentially using a biological mechanism that's already running to deliver what your nerves actually need. Consistently, every morning, without adding anything complicated to your day. If you decide to look into which compounds are best suited for this kind of daily pairing, it's worth understanding which ones have actually been studied in the context of nerve tissue, not just general wellness. Now, if you've been doing your research, and if you're still watching, you clearly have, you've probably come across dozens of options. Nerve support, supplements, B vitamin blends, herbal extracts, all promising some version of relief. And the common mistake isn't choosing nothing. The common mistake is choosing something too limited in scope. A single ingredient at a low dose will do very little against a multi-layered biological problem. Vitamin B12, for example, is frequently recommended for nerve health, and it plays a role, but it doesn't address inflammation. It doesn't neutralize oxidative stress, and it doesn't calm an overactive nervous system on its own. Picking a partial solution and running it for 2 or 3 months without results doesn't mean nerve support doesn't work. It means that particular product wasn't comprehensive enough. That distinction matters, because without understanding it, you'll keep cycling through partial answers. And this brings us to something that doesn't get said enough. The real cost of this situation isn't just discomfort. It's the time. Every month spent on a solution that was never strong enough is a month the underlying environment in your body continues unchanged. Another month of disrupted sleep, another month of hesitating before a walk, before a trip, before doing the things you want to do without thinking twice. The real risk isn't ignoring the problem entirely. The real risk is choosing something weak and repeating the same cycle, because it feels like you're doing something even when nothing is actually changing. That cycle, try something, get a little relief, lose it, try something else, is genuinely exhausting. And the people who break out of it aren't the ones who found a magic product. They're the ones who finally matched the solution to what the problem actually required. So what does that actually look like in practice? Supporting nerve health properly, especially for someone over 60, means addressing at least 3 things at once: calming the inflammatory environment around nerve tissue, giving the body tools to neutralize accumulated oxidative stress, and regulating nerve signaling, bringing an overactive nervous system toward a calmer, more stable state. And ideally, you want to do this with a daily format that's simple enough to maintain without disruption. Something that fits naturally into a routine you already have, like a morning coffee. That shift from targeting symptoms to supporting the full environment that nerve tissue lives in consistently every day is what separates approaches that move the needle from approaches that just make things temporarily quieter. There's one product I want to bring to your attention as a real example of this thinking. It's called Nerve Fresh. It's a daily supplement formulated around exactly the multi-system approach we've been talking about. And it's designed to be taken as part of your morning routine, alongside your coffee or mixed into it, so you're using that natural absorption window rather than leaving it empty. The formula combines Passionflower, which works on GABA pathways, the signaling system in your brain and nervous system responsible for calm and regulated nerve activity. Corydalis, studied for its natural anti-inflammatory properties. Prickly Pear, which provides meaningful antioxidant support against the oxidative stress that accumulates in nerve tissue. Marshmallow Root, known for reducing physiological stress responses in the body. And California Poppy, which has a long history of use for its calming, relaxing effect on an overexcited nervous system. These ingredients aren't randomly stacked. Each one targets a different layer of the same underlying problem. And the morning coffee pairing isn't a marketing angle. It's a practical way to make sure the compounds are absorbed consistently, at the same time each day, during a window when your body is already primed to receive them. That consistency is what builds results over time. That said, this is not a miracle. It doesn't replace medical care. It doesn't cure anything. It's not for everyone. If you're on medication, speak with your doctor before adding any supplement. What Nerve Fresh is designed for is someone who wants daily, consistent support for the internal environment. That affects how their nerves function and wants to build that support into a routine they already have. One more thing before I tell you where to find the official information. There are counterfeit versions of popular supplements circulating on third-party marketplaces. They use similar packaging and similar names, but the formulas are different and the quality controls are often non-existent. This is a real pattern with health supplements, and it's worth being aware of. The only way to be sure you're getting the actual Nerve Fresh formula is through the official source, not a reseller, not an unfamiliar marketplace listing. If you've watched this far, you already have enough information to make a real decision. You understand what's happening in your body. You understand why partial approaches don't deliver. You understand why the morning routine pairing matters for absorption. The only thing left is to verify this for yourself now, or continue the same cycle a little longer. I've prepared a detailed written brief that outlines the full protocol. Take your time to review the steps and the lab data on that page. If you're watching on your phone, just tap the title of this video right now. The description box will slide open, and you'll see the official blue link at the very top. I'll also leave it in the first pinned comment below. Take 30 seconds and check it now, while this is still clear in your mind.